What happened to our villages? I'm no historian, but I have some opinions on the subject. So this video is my take. I'd love to hear your take. Let's make this a two-way conversation. Hi, I'm Yvette the Declutters, your less is more coach and business mentor. And I've actually been thinking about this for a really long time, since becoming a mom. And there's no time like the present to open up the conversation. What got me started was I went into ChatGPT and I typed in, talk to me about the women's movement. And I like what ChatGPT wrote. It said the women's movement began because women were not allowed to own property, earn money, vote, leave marriages, control reproduction, or exist as full humans in public life. That fight was necessary, period. But movements don't freeze in their original integrity. They evolve and sometimes overcorrect. And that's the part I want to hone in on because I think our villages changed as a result of this political movement. From how the pendulum swung with voting rights, property rights, basic personhood and equality rights, sexual rights, reproductive rights, we find ourselves where we are today and what we feel our role is as a woman, let alone a mother. So, as women started leaving the household and going to work every day, the disparity emerged. The disparity between how women were treated in the workplace and how they were getting by at home. Women were torn in two, split between choosing family over career or career over family, which is most likely why career driven women tend to be mothers later in life, like yours truly. But obviously, there's other factors in there, like finding the right partner to start a family with, also very important. And then there's women who want both career and family at the same time in equal measure. And whichever side of the fight you're on, as it relates to career, family, workplace equality, your beliefs color your world and direct you on your path. The consensus might be that women want it all, and why not? But at what cost? If we're expected to be nurturing mothers, ambitious earners, emotionally evolved partners, self actualized humans, then we need help. The same amount of help that we had when we were still in our villages, where the rules and agreements were held up without a problem. Now, those rules and agreements are laws and rights, and we don't always have a say in what those are, as much as we'd like to think we do. So, how does that affect how you mother? How does that affect how you pursue vocation and career? And how does that affect how fulfilled you feel doing both? We need help in every scenario, right? We can't do it all alone. We were never meant to do it all alone. But our support is no longer as unified or cohesive or built in as it once was, when everyone in your environment was related to you or part of the co op and more than happy to do their part in keeping the village growing, healthy, and alive. Not that villages were ideal, which is why they probably didn't last through the industrial age, because there was no autonomy for many women, little mobility, few legal protections, probably some nepotism in there, dangerous childbirth, limited education, and rigid social roles. Everybody played their part because humans as a species rely on interdependence, multi generational support, and shared labor. So your kids don't only depend on you for everything. And we rely on a rhythm of life that's tied to seasons. But the democratic and capitalistic society we're in now means we're more independent and self serving than ever before. We're currently experiencing an economy and a culture that prioritizes autonomy over interdependence and shared responsibility. Now we're not close to family by choice. We're living more scattered due to career and opportunity and preference. We're no longer inside these communal structures unless we create them. So our villages became more curated. We pick our nannies, we pick our schools, we pick our jobs, we pick our social groups, we pick our food, and we pick our exercise. We are curating our way of life. And I can't say that's a bad thing. Self judgment and judgment by other women aside, we are empowered more than ever to choose how we want to live and support our families. Enter entrepreneurship, my favorite means to design your life. I think entrepreneur moms are in the privileged position to build their own villages. So, because of those who've gone before us, our ancestors, and the global uprising in autonomy for women, we are choosing paths that are no longer oppressed by masculine dominance. And so that frees us to think for ourselves and to raise our kids how we want. And we know we're only as strong as the weakest link. Maybe that's why our ancestors fled their villages. Maybe that's why they chose divorce and broke up families. Maybe it wasn't just about survival. The mental load of a mother today isn't just about survival. It isn't just about grocery lists and doctor appointments. During this transition into autonomy, moms might be suffering through isolation and shame or confusion unless and until they find a new village, somewhere to belong, somewhere and someone to help with the emotional toll, the physical labor, the planning, the finances. We are able to curate our villages, even down to the partner we raise these kids with. If it doesn't support you in being the mother you want to be, then it doesn't work. And that's with or without a business. We want the best of the best for our kids. So then we want strong partnerships, positive role models, access to better healthcare, specialists in their field to advise on schooling and age appropriate development. We want to know that someone else is looking after their well being as much as we are, and we will pay them handsomely for it. That's the freedom we have outside of our bred and born villages, unfortunately and fortunately, because we're not forced to go to the doctor who's also a child molester or the dentist who's also an alcoholic with expired credentials, things like that. The more educated we get, the less interested we are in the bullshit. I read somewhere once that the sign of a strong economy is the education of its women. And here's the thing, we're evolving, our kids are evolving, our businesses are evolving. And so at every new phase, new stage, new level, we encounter new challenges. So we need systems. Systems are the new village. People, support, education, communication, contingency plans, all part of your systems. You might think you don't have time to start a business now or do what it takes to be successful now. Well, imagine in 10 years with that same mentality, you still won't have the time. Build your systems now. But in all honesty, we need to build better systems, systems that grow with you, systems that don't break down whenever there's a holiday or a summer vacation. For example, I'm installing systems right now that support me, whether my kids are homesick or homeschooled. First, any good system always starts with mindset. It requires a mindset shift. You have to wrap your mind around this desire you have within your new normal so a solution can emerge rather than focusing on it as a problem. For me to have the best of both worlds, I want to homeschool my kids till at least third grade and also continue to scale my coaching empire. How am I doing that? Well, I'm not homeschooling yet, but every time they're home on a weekday, I'm getting a little taste of what homeschooling would do to my work schedule. I had them both home today for a wellness day because, there's coughing and stuffy noses. And I just wanted to boost their immunity with lots of fluids, lots of mommy and daddy hugs, and a lot of rest. So we had breakfast, we had schoolwork or just learning something new. We had a lot of Lego time, a lot of slime time. We had a movie, we had a few meltdowns, and now dad is handling bedtime so I can film. There's also friends and neighbors who would help me out if I was in a bind. There's also me filming in chunks throughout the day, right? Whenever I can fit it in. I've done that before. And there's also moving filming to a different day entirely. But filming at least once a week is a non negotiable. Pro tip, when you know your non negotiables in life and career, you always find a way. The thing is, with the kids home during the week, my normal work week, I can't think straight enough to do the deep work that I do on a weekly basis unless someone else takes the kids or looks after the kids or they're napping. So that means I'll need help on the days that I film or create content or on the days I have coaching and client calls. Otherwise, I can just see myself being completely brain dead and fried by the end of the day. Anyway, I'd love to hear from any moms out there who are homeschooling. What's working, what's not working? Let me know in the comments. Tell me everything. See, I'm using my village. Okay, so to wrap this video up, here's where I land with everything. There's no going backward. Where we are now is where we've chosen to be as a collective, or we wouldn't be here. To get the best result possible, stand for what you want with complete awareness, the full picture of what you're choosing today and how it might affect your family tomorrow, because you get to choose what you do now. Let your heart and your inner peace guide you. And know if you are ambitious and you want to pursue a career that doesn't just involve raising your own kids, you'll need support. You'll need help. You'll need to curate your own village. That's just one of the many things we do inside the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms, which you can learn more about and apply for using the link in the description below, because you're not just a mom. Till the next time.